Tell us your story. Palm tree, your father. How did you get into this palm tree stuff? Tell us your story. Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. It's my pleasure here. Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege. It's a great privilege to be on this seat and to appreciate Dr. Olumide Emmanuel for the opportunity. I think I stumbled upon him in 2005 while I was still quite young and trying to learn the ropes in life. And I remember coming to Lagos trying to see him by all means, and I couldn't. But years later, we're doing great stuff together now. And to me, that's a prayer coming to be. And that is also the fruit of his labor on this generation. He has labored over us in prayers, in wisdom, in his teachings. And today, you can count several billionaires that have emanated from his platform, and we are one of them. So thank you so much, sir, for the privilege. If you want to clap, you can, please. Thank you. So, it's good, my father's story is beautiful, but I think a lot better part of this story and the color that made it brighter was listening to Dr. Olumide Emmanuel and drinking from his word of wisdom. I mean, the ideas began to form when I began to marry all these teachings to my background. I know then he used to say, don't let your background put your back on the ground. And it's beautiful that I came from a very humble background. My father died when I was 14. But he was a rich farmer. He couldn't read or write. I remember very distinctively at the time we were in school, and he came to the boarding house with a Mercedes-Benz 230D. And that was it in the entire local government. And you can even count the numbers of it in the state. But he was a farmer. And we thought less, how is he making so much money to afford that kind of car in his time? And shortly after that visit, 2-3 weeks after that visit, he passed on. And to us, that looks like the end of everything. He was the only breadwinner. And the hope of going to school, everything was dashed. We thought it was over. But when we visited back home and his stories of how he has started planting palm trees from a very young age, which is a very story that motivated me, and the total he has done over 100 acres of oil palm plantation. And every month, my father he doesn't stress himself. So sometimes we used to ask, where's the money coming from? Every month there is money, abundance of money. All we used to see are kegs of palm oil being loaded into the house from the farm. We grew up seeing several cars in the compound. I grew up knowing my father having an orderly, a farmer who cannot read nor write. But his entire wealth was built from the oil palm plantation. So after learning all this, we were stabilized to go to school, and we all went through school without begging any uncle or auntie to pay anything. And that, to me, is the definition of sustainability. So last year, I had the opportunity of sharing the same story at the UK House of Lords. And to me, it was me repeating story to them, how I came to this country to school, and how, in quotes, we were being enslaved mentally while we are also getting the Oyibo education. But to me, I was challenging them that, see, my father who could not read nor write is the definition of sustainability to me. Because he sustained his entire generation. Even till today, the 4th generation, we are still milling palm oil. Last month, we still sold palm oil. And we still shared money from palm oil. But he's dead almost 30 years now. And that wealth still remains. That is unbeatable wisdom to me. And then narrating sustainability, I was telling them that if you are talking about climate change, my father is still contributing to the climate today. He's dead long ago, but those 1,000 plus trees that he planted are still sustaining the climate, giving back carbon dioxide to the society. My father is still sustaining the society, providing jobs for people, because people are still being employed in that farm and families are still being paid. So that is a beautiful story of sustainability, and I think I grew up going to school, having that story run through my brain. And I remember just one day I walked in the UK. I took a job as a potter. I mean, everybody have to put you under pressure. Go and get something to do. So I took a job as a potter. And you know what potter does? You want to scrub pans, baking pans with very thick substance. And I was doing that job crying throughout that day. So after the evening, I told myself, this is not me. I can't leave my country, pay pounds to come and school here, and then be enslaved again to scrub pans. So I refused to go back to take the wage. 36 pounds I could remember very clearly. And that decision also came from the fact that I've listened to a lot of the messages from Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, and I said to myself, I'm coming back home. So I wrote my final exam, left the UK, and came back to Nigeria, and we started the oil palm journey. And I can boastfully tell you today that we have built an agricultural system that has generated well over 40 billion naira and over 8,000 hectares across 4 states in Nigeria. And we are part of the change in the food security system. In Lagos State today, we boastfully can tell you we run the biggest farm in Lagos State, confirmed by the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture when he visited our Ekpe farm. Right in the midst of our palm plantations, we were able to do over 1 million tubers of yams intercropped in the state. We have produced gari, we have produced all kind of food. And I am boastful to say to you today that I am a farmer just like my father. Thank you so much, sir.
I hope we are learning. Because many times we don't think long term. We only think short term. And the palm tree, once planted, when it begins to fruit, it has the ability to continue to produce for 70 years and above. So it is one investment with a lifetime return. So it's something that I don't want you to make light of. It's just like when you build a house. Many of you are living in houses that the landlord built 30 years ago. They are still increasing rent. The house will be there for 100 years. They will still be collecting rent. So you can't go wrong when you invest in a cash flow producing asset. Morenike, your story is very powerful. So you need to tell us, number one, how did you people start? Why did you decide that, okay, we want to be putting money together? So where did the idea come from? How did you guys start? And number 3, then I will go to other people. How did you start? What led to it? Number 2, what were you people investing in? And then how long have you guys been doing this? Then I will now go to others. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Then you need to introduce yourself fully now.
Okay, sir. First, we want to say a big thank you for giving us the honor to be on this, your exalted podium, I would say, because I know this is where the word of God goes out to people. So thank you very much for inviting us. And thank you for the wealth of wisdom. I was telling my friends, because we are now friends. In fact, we are family, sisters. We are sisters. Thank you. That what I've learned since I got introduced to you online. In fact, I can't still remember how I got connected to you. Honestly, I wish I had learned it when I was 30 and 40. Even though, yes, I've been investment savvy and all that. But what I have learned, so thank you very much. The Lord will continue to honor you in Jesus' name. So how did we start? Like you said, okay, you still ask them questions. So let me, you're giving me 3 things. So we started, we were... Okay, so my name is Morenike Akirimisi, and I work in a bank, and I'm pleased to be here. Okay, so 21 years ago precisely, so we started this investment club in 2005.
Wow.
So we were 10, and one of us has gone to be with the Lord. And maybe we'll now tell you how we were able to even, when she passed on, what we did. So one of us, we're 4, the remaining 5 people are online. One of us, her name is Chichi, she just said, look, we are all, yes, we were young, most of us are in our 50s now, so we were young, and she just felt that, look, let's just be setting aside a certain amount every month, and we put it together. And the amount, how much was the amount then? It was 10,000 naira. That was what we started with in 2005. So we started. Then we didn't register the company. So we just used to put the funds together. And then it was a case of, okay, what do we do with the money? So we started buying shares. That was what we knew then. So it was shares that we started with over the years. And there's one thing you keep saying, and that is wealth takes time. So for us, it wasn't even a case of, okay, what were we going to do to spend? We did not say that, we were going to spend whatever we were making out of the money. No. So we just kept investing over the years. And that's where we are. So the only first time, if I remember, that we took out of it was when we celebrated our 10 years anniversary in 2019. And it was a tough call. Because, so in 2019, before then, everybody had been saying that, no, let us even spend this money now, Because but for me, I just feel that let's just keep investing and investing. But like a club, you have to listen to everybody's opinion and come to a collective decision, because it's not just one person. And also, it is very important who you go into partnership with. Because what has made us stand the test of time is the values we share, what we agree on. Because if you had somebody that did not agree with the values or what we have, we will not be where we are today. So it's very important. And Dr. Olumide had said in one of the messages I had listened to was in terms of having contracts. What do you people believe in? To have it set out standard. We didn't start with that. But I think we have been lucky because we have built friendship, we have become sisters, and we have that. So I would think whoever is going into that today should be done differently. So I think that's how we started, 2005, and we are here. Most of us we were just newly married. Now we've had children. Our children are graduating to the glory of God. So that's who we are.
Wow. So before you go, so how much did you share in? What did you do with the money?
Okay, so in 2019, we looked at it and we said, okay, let us even enjoy some of the dividends. So what we decided was that we would only spend our dividend. We did not spend our principal. So as at that time, we looked at it at how much were we going to use. We just even went to Dubai, the 9 of us. We went, all expenses paid. Wow. So we paid for the ticket. It was like 3 days. So it was in Dubai. And our husbands even felt that we did not carry them along, but we said, hey.
You started before you met them now.
Wow. Most of us were married then.
That's
so
amazing.
That's the major spend we've done with our investment. Because
so do you still do 10,000 till now? It has increased?
No, it has increased. So we increased to 15,000. And then before we stopped, when we were all working together, we all started working together in an organization, British Airways precisely. So after we now decided
so you were all British Airways staff?
Yes, we were. Yeah, that was how we met. We were all colleagues.
Okay.
And then we've been together for 21 years.
Wow.
We were all colleagues.
So let's hear from you. Introduce yourself and tell us from your own perspective. Why did you become a part of this, and how has the experience been for you, so that we can hear individual perspective now? Yeah. So introduce yourself, then why did you join them? Why did you say, I beg, I don't have time for this? And then how has it been for you? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edo Oshoma, and I am the CEO of a travel solutions company called DestinationSomewhere.com in Lagos here. So like she said, we were colleagues in British Airways together. And so I can't even remember where I was when one of them reached out. I think it was Peju. She's flying today, so she can't be here. Anyway, and she said, oh, there's this opportunity, we're coming together to do an investment, and it's going to be a monthly thing. And I was like, oh, great. For me, at the time, I didn't know so much about investment, but I knew about savings. You know how you just say, oh, save and save, because my mom and my dad, so of course we know how there are ups and downs in life. And my dad was retired unexpectedly. So what I saw was she sold the shares to be able to they had bought land and, moved the house to some level. But when that unexpected retirement had come, we had to quickly move away from where we were and move into our own place and all of that. So she sold shares. She had bought shares for us as kids, and then she had also bought for herself. My dad also had shares. So they sold off those things to be able to now quickly bring the house up, and then we now had to move and everything and quote and unquote start life, kind of like afresh, my dad not having a job. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, this is savings in my mind. To my mind at the time, this is savings, putting something together so that if something comes up. So that was how it started for me, and of course I was open to it. So we started the investment. Now, what it has done for me personally, it has even transcended, it has moved beyond me and moved to even my kids. Even my husband is so amazed that we have been together. Like, all I need to say is, oh, we have a Glenos. Once I say Glenos, the story is over. He knows, when we have our hangouts or when we're going to Dubai, it's just been such an experience that I've even shared with, people, like just small groups, to say, oh, try this, this is what I am doing. And when they hear the amount and some of the things that we have done, it's kind of like mind-blowing for everyone. It's not like we're putting 500,000 together, we're putting 1 million together. Just little monies that you won't even have known what you did with it, technically. Because like you can spend 50K and not really be able to account for that 50K, in a week, but exactly in a day, But so for me, it has been, number one, I have gained sisters that I otherwise would not have had, because like she said, it has transcended friendship. We are now sisters. We were literally doing life together. So it's not even just about investment. We share our wins, we share our sorrows, we share our everything. Children, like it's grown. It has become a community that is such a safe space for us to come and, say, oh, I'm having this challenge, and we all gather together and, help emotionally, financially. Like it has transcended, dimensions that at the beginning I would not have been able to foresee, to say, oh, because it started, like I said, it started with just, we're coming to put money together. But it has grown over the 21 years, and it's been such an amazing experience for me.
Wow. Now over to you. 21 years. We'd like to hear your own experience too. Why did you join? How has it been? But I would like to add something to yours. What do you think has kept you for 21 years? Because what we hear about women is different from what people are sharing about. So you people, I know you fight, but nobody has said, well, forget it. You're me, I'm not doing it again. I don't care what anybody is saying. Forget it. And so I wanted to bring in that angle. How has it been? What are the challenges? And how have you guys been able to handle it? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for the opportunity. Morenike talks a lot about you. In fact, we had to be Googling and reading about you. And coincidentally, I had to take the day off to be here. My name is Bridget Oyefeso Dusami. Wow. And I took a day's leave to be here today. Wow. I also work in financial services, but my discipline is marketing and communications. So thank you very much once again for the opportunity. Let me start from the last thing you asked. So when we were setting up this thing at British Airways, my husband heard. He said, women, you people want to come together and do something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sow a seed into that thing because I want to watch how it's going to grow. So our initial investment, actually, when we started, was 100,000. We had to do bulk. So at some point, we did bulk, and then we now had monthly contribution. So I think we do bulk once a year, and then you had monthly contributions. I think that's what our Madam Chair here forgot to say. She's our chairman of our investment club.
Wow.
So my first 100,000 contribution didn't come from my pocket, it came from my husband. So all of us were married at the time.
Okay, wow.
So he sowed that seed just to watch. And a lot of them, like, Edo also has said, watch us grow, our investments grow. We talk about the things we're doing, and our husbands are really perplexed. Even other, network of friends are saying, oh my God, so if you guys can do this, then it's possible. Yeah. And I think that the thing that has kept us, honestly, is understanding the reason why we're there. So we might not always agree, but our money is the reason why we're here. So, so we might not agree. And another thing, Madam Chair also, didn't say is that we had a constitution. We had to set it up like a company. We registered this company, so it's an investment club corporation, because we aim to be a big corporation in the future. When we retire, most of us are in our 50s, and we started when we were in our 30s. So eventually, we are hoping at 60 we begin to do other things. When we are not maybe having gainful employment where we have money to contribute, we'll start looking for other revenue streams, right? So what it is the Constitution was binding, right? This is who we are. These are the things that we would do. So we said we would invest in stocks, we would do this, we would do that. So we had to follow. And then part of the Constitution is you must have a quorum. So like I said, we don't always have to agree. But as we were 10 at the time, once we can form that quorum, we will go ahead and invest.
So quorum is like 6 or 7?
Yes. So again, if you are not looking at the group chats when we have to make a decision, Madam Chair will send email. Come and tell us, go and read your email. As long as we have that quorum, we move ahead. So we might be getting angry that, but I haven't voted. But again, your eye is on where our money is. So these are the things that we knew that even though we might not always agree, I go back to that, but we had something that was binding, and we kept our eyes on that. So I'm not sure we really ever had any situation where we fought. We can argue, and it's from no place of malice. It's our money. We're talking about money here. So even when you argue, remember that it's because of this money we're arguing. It has nothing to do with my personality or your personality. So I think that clear understanding was what has kept us together.
Wow.
Praise the Lord.
And finally to you, Oga. When I say I'm like, so you two, you are part of this group. Okay now. So you're going to introduce yourself to us. Why did you join us before? But I want you to now, so what are you people worth now? So you will now tell us this money, is it 10 billion now? Is it 100 million? So how big is the portfolio that you people have been able to build now with 10,000 naira, 15,000 naira? Because people are watching and they can start their own now. So over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Folake Shueto, and I'm the CEO of Ikeja Electric. And I'm very happy to be part of this group. And I feel very honored to be able to be on this platform. So thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel, for your words of wisdom.
Thank you.
I think I joined the group just like every other person. Like I said, we're colleagues. It was funny when you were calling me the Oga, because I'm actually the youngest of the group. They always call me the baby of the group. But they're my sisters, and they're amazing people. Amazing people. One thing they didn't say, and I need to just sketch on it, is that apart from, so Bridget spoke about the transactional part, which is the focus of investment and not being distracted from the goal. But outside of that, we've lost people. We've had people who have been out of jobs in the period, and they had obligations, and we had to hold forth. We've had people pray for people. We've had trauma. One of us has lost her spouse. Of course, she's remarried today. We've gone through challenges together. We've had career growth. We've had leverage on people's strengths, individual strengths. So me, even though I'm a baby, there are things I bring to the picture, and I'm making a fuss about that. And they respect that, because it's not about your age, it's about the value that you bring to the organization. So I'm super proud of this. Speaking about the men, when we started 20 years ago, I remember my husband spoke about us to another group, and these are men. I say this to break this bias about women being the issue. And my husband set up this group as well. And the things that doesn't exist today anymore. They actually fought. So, exactly.
Guys, now don't fall my hand though.
But I mean, I say that to just break that bias. That really, at the end of the day, structure, vision. One thing I think Morenike also missed is When we started, I remember very well, we said we're going to get 200,000 shares of First Bank. That was the focus. It was very clear. So you're very clear. So for every money that was coming in, that was the mandate. And that was what we were going for. So even though we started with 10,000, it moved to 15,000, then to 20,000, and then the bulk money. That investment and in that focus just grew the money. And then we diversified. We went into real estate. And then at some point, our chairperson, she's a Harvard, I call her an avid investor, and she's very strict. So she doesn't like to spend money. So even when we want to jolly, she will not allow us jolly. But the reason why that was also very good that she was the one there, like I said, leverage on each person's strength. She spotted the opportunity of us using that money in terms of diversification. So at some point, we decided to take a dollar position. Not, we had real estate, we have shares, and then we changed money when it was at 400. And I'm not going to talk about the big amount, but I'm opening our minds to what our money has done. But remember how much we're putting down. And I remember that at the time she changed the money, it was 400 naira, if I remember. Morenica, remind me. And we did a position, we did a deposit of that money, and it grew. And I think when I was looking at the report the other day, I think we had made $7,000 or so in addition to that bulk amount, which I'm not going to call. So if I say we've made 7,000, you can run the numbers yourself. And from that, we were able to also invest in a property. And the investment is from the returns on the investment that we did before. So what am I trying to say? We told ourselves there, why haven't we increased our minimum? Because all of us can actually increase that minimum. But the point is, with 20,000 naira, compounding 20 years, monthly, 10 people, a bulk sum of 100,000 every month, has expanded into real estate, shops, forex, shares, that could pay for landed property, that could pay for a holiday for 10 people in Dubai. Run the numbers. I don't need to call any numbers. I think I have said enough. So
you wouldn't want to call numbers.
But I've called numbers without calling numbers. But last thing for me was, I would say two things, lessons learned, and I keep harassing them. So, and this is for anyone who is trying to learn discipline. So when we started, it was 10,000 every month. And of course, I think I missed the date. And we had a rule that they were going to fine us. And they fined me. I was mad at that meeting. Why would you fine me? And then I said, okay, take the feedback. You missed a payment. And I set up a direct debit. And till today, obviously I haven't missed. One or two people missed too, you have not fined them. But that is offline gist. But the point is, set up a direct debit. I can afford 20,000 naira. Really. I'm sure you can afford 20,000 naira. I'm sure. 10,000 naira. Set up a direct debit. Even if you're not doing an investment club, set up an amount that you wouldn't even think about it and just compound and see what happens. Do the numbers. Imagine if you're doing 10,000 naira, in fact, 20,000 naira 20 years ago, that you would not have felt. At the time when I was doing 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, I'm a CEO now. I was a sales agent. So it's not because I'm a CEO. I did it when I was an entry level. So who here is not, you must be on entry level, at least minimum is entry level. Yeah. So you can actually create that wealth. And my son is here, he's 22, he's just graduated, that's Tommy Singh. He's here. And yeah, we're proud of him. Tommy Singh, recognize yourself. And we are going to pass that on to generation, and that's sustainability and that's impact, where our kids are going to leverage. He's come here now. He could have been sleeping, even though he's been going for concert, but he drove me here, and he has listened. He's bought your books. He's already called his brother. They're going to take position in the palm tree. It's amazing. So thank you very much, sir.
Wow. Wow. So next generation is palm tree. Come on, tell them to give you your portion. Come and buy palm tree. You should come and buy 100 hectares. Rotimi. People are listening to us. They are looking at all this. And not many people understand how powerful palm tree is, cash crop generally. But because we're talking about palm tree, I want you to help give us some, just in summary, educate us with numbers. Right now, people don't know that palm tree is more expensive than crude oil. People don't know that the two major players in the palm tree, Malaysia, Indonesia, they control about 80% of the market, but they came to Nigeria to come and collect the palm. People don't know that all the palm oil we produce in Nigeria, the whole country, is not even up to 50% of our local consumption. Not to even talk of export. So people don't know the possibilities. So run us through with data so that people can see why they need to be a part of this.
Thank you, sir. So the oil palm industry is so big that Malaysia has crude oil, and you can Google that. But you can't see them displaying their crude oil because they are more focused on their oil palm, and it's big and massive. Indonesia has stopped exporting their palm oil out, and that's putting India in a big trouble because India is one of the biggest consumers in the world. Why did they stop exporting? They started converting their oil palm to biofuel. And last year, or 2023, for the first time in the history of the world, Indonesia flew a commercial airplane with refined palm oil. You can Google that. Today, they produce lubricants from the palm oil to lubricate their vehicles and other. There are over 500 products that comes from the palm oil. And research from the World Wildlife Funds in Europe says that 50% of every product, 50% of products in supermarkets contains elements of palm oil. World Wildlife Funds. And this research is so big that by 2030, the global oil palm market will be over $120 billion. And that is increasing. Now let's come back home. Nigeria still imports over 350% of the oil palm consumed locally. We still import the palm oil. Why do we import the palm oil? Because there's virtually nobody in this room today who has nothing to do with palm oil today. From our beautiful ladies with their lipsticks, to your lotion, to your pharmaceuticals, to your food, there are elements of palm oil in your daily life, to your toothpaste, except for those who did not brush today. And I know there is no. So you cannot actually go through your day without the palm oil. So Nigeria still imports over 350% of the palm oil consumed. Who consumes this palm oil? Companies like Unilever, PZ, most of the multinationals who produce pharmaceuticals and our daily FMCGs. Now, by statistics, CBN says that Nigeria would generate over $60 billion from oil palm alone. But we need over 1 million tons in production. And that is not a farm of 500,000 hectares. That is not a farm of 500,000 hectares. So if we have done 8,000 hectares, we are not scratching nothing yet. The biggest player in the market today, Presco, has 80,000 hectares. Presco is the biggest. Presco did over 198 billion last year in revenue from oil palm. And I make due to challenge a friend in the real estate, which real estate company in Nigeria did 198 billion from palm oil. The market is so big and the opportunity is so wide that all of us can key into it. And the history I've learned from my village, growing up, the then Western government, Awolowo planted 19,000 hectares across 9 communities in my village. From Okitukupa to Irele to all the communities, 19,000 hectares. That was a major sustainability for the entire community. But the oil palm was abandoned when oil came. And when I came from Europe and from the UK, I went to meet the government, went to the MD of the Okitukupa Oil Palm PLC and rented some part of that farm. And that's how we started revamping from. And today, those palms are back to life. Abandoned over 10 years. Today, Okutukpa Oil Palm PLC is back to the Nigeria Stock Exchange after 10 years of abandonment. I may bold to also tell you that there is no business you abandon for 10 years and come back to meet it. The oil palm was abandoned for 10 years. They came back and it's still producing. Either you like it or not, the oil palm will be producing. And it's sustained for over years. So, the wisdom that we all can key it in today is to own real estate in Lagos, own residential real estate, but very much important, own agricultural real estate. Because from our analytics, agricultural real estate is far more profitable than even your residential real estate. I live in Omole Estate. A 5-bedroom duplex is about 800 million, and per annum rent is 25 million. And 25 million, if I have done rent, it will take me over 30 years to recoup my capital from rental. If I take 800 million to my village, I will buy over 1,000 acres. And by calculation and projection by NIFO, Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, at an average of 3 million profits per annum from 1 hectare, I will do 3 billion naira per annum from my 1,000 hectares.
From 1 acre.
From my 1,000 acres. So which is more profitable? The farmer in the village, you are going home for December and you buy bread for them.
3 million from 1 acre.
3 million from 1 hectare.
Not 1 hectare.
No, their projection as at 2-3 years back.
Okay.
But as at date, it's over 6 million per hectare. So that's over 6 billion per hectare. So in my village, while you are young and you are in secondary school, your father will give you a farmland to plant oil palm. By the time you are done from secondary school, you can employ a bank manager. I can tell you. With 5 hectares, you are making a lot of money. So there's so much wealth in the oil palm industry, and it has come for long years. This industry has been sustained over 200 years. So in case we think this can fail. And lastly, let me say to this. There's risk in agriculture. We all are aware of that. But this is one of the lowest area where you have risk in agriculture. You plant once and for a lifetime, and it can fruit for over 70 years. And not just fruiting for over 70 years, this tree is so agile that it can sustain itself. Now, I knew poultries that were in that same local government when I was growing up, but I'm not sure any of them survived 5 years. And none of us who are abroad, we want to invest back home in agriculture. It's good. But what I'm trying to say is, understand the risk in agriculture before investing in agriculture. And the way you can go about the risk, invest in the lower risk area, like the oil palm. When your revenue is coming out, diversify into your passion, which is the higher risk area. So for example, if I have a 50 hectare, or let's even take a Presco. If Presco, with their 198 billion, if they decide to diversify into poultry today, they can build a 50,000 birds pen without taking loan from any bank. And they don't have any feeling if all the birds die. Because they are spending from their profits and not taking their capital to invest in a riskier portfolio in agriculture. So you can invest in oil palm sustainably and then diversify into other areas in agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Now you are seeing the power in the palm tree opportunity, and you are seeing in the investment club a strategy that can give you the money. So if you are sitting down here right now and you tell me you don't have 9 people in your life that you can join together and trust, that you need deliverance, we need to hand you over to the deliverance team for 7 days dry fasting. Hey, my guy, hey, girlfriend, all the relationships you have, so lay your man on that year. You have done 25 years, a quarter of a century in your life. You don't have 9 people you can come together to be putting 10,000, then something is fundamentally wrong with you. And when you join the group of people, I don't trust anybody, it's an indictment against you. You don't trust anybody. The flights you took from Abuja to Lagos, your cousin was the pilot, Abi. Because we make statements that we have not thought through. Are you trustworthy? To him that is pure, all things are pure. So you need to begin to think of how to collaborate. join people together. You see, 21 years, they are still here. And you never know what you can achieve until you try. And I believe that you're going to do that. So, Morenike, we want to get some more insights. Now, we have heard that you people started, that you do shares, that you started diversifying. Now we have known that you are the strict one that doesn't want them to be spending money. So, have you guys ever lost money before in an investment? How did you undo that? And then you were speaking about the fact that one of you have passed on to glory. And so, what are the structures you have put in place to ensure that there is sustainability? So, the person has passed on now. Are the children and family going to take over now? So, what's the next generation? So, we need to hear about that. So, those two things. Have you lost money before? How are you able to manage that? Then, what's the sustainability plan? Your children, somebody passes on. How does that work?
Thank you, sir. So, I think what we have tried to do over the years is that we have been patient. So, and one thing you keep saying is that wealth takes time. It's not what you just suddenly acquire overnight. So even when we saw losses staring at us, we waited. And that was the case of the shares. So there was a time like the 2008 where shares went down dramatically, and then it was going to be a loss. But like what Bridget had said, what is the purpose that we want? We have a constitution, and the constitution is that we invest to make money. And because maybe we were all working and we're still working, so it's not that we needed the money at that point in time. So we said, you know what? We will wait it out. We will not sell. So we waited. And then years after, that same shares that was going to be a loss to us if we had sold became a profit. And that profit, we were able to take it out. We sold our shares and we plowed it into real estate. So I think one thing that has worked for us and I want to advocate is you wait. Be patient. Don't say that, you see the money, you know what, we've made so much money in just a few years, let's bring it out. And no, let us plow it back. And I think that's the only real loss that we had done, because for every of that investment, we have continued to plow it back. So like what we had done in 2002, we said, you know what, we had these excess funds and we had not put it into any asset. Let us convert it to dollars, and then when we see any opportunity, we will take hold of it. With hindsight, we never could have imagined that dollars was going to move. Naira was going to move from 400 to 1,900 before dropping down to 1,004. But we just did it as at that time. All because we all agreed we were not going to spend. So we converted those monies. So that money is what is now building other children that we are using. So over the years, we have not had such a substantial loss because of our strategy of waiting in out. So even when we see the loss, we will not plunge into it and say, no, we'll be afraid. And that's what wealth is all about. We build it over the years, so we haven't. In terms of sustainability, one thing along the years, we've had other people come in, but at one point in time, we just realized that, look, their values and what they believed in did not agree with us. And when they said they wanted to exit, we said, fine. So we as at that point in time, we put at it and said, what have you put into this club? What is the investment you have put? How has it matured over the time? We assess it. So at one point in time, it's also good to also get professionals. So we got an accountant. So the accountant did all the accounting of all our statements, and then we were able to agree on what percentage the person who wanted to exit was able to exit. So we accounted and then we paid her, so she was able to get our investment. So what we have done is we have what everybody is entitled to. So yes, we have the shares, and we say that, okay, Morenike, you're entitled to X amount number of shares. Bridget, you have, and that's how we've been able to do it. And today, if anybody wants to exit, but so far we've not had, we can try to that this is the value of your shares, and then we'll look at it. But because of the investment we've done, it's going to be difficult for you to say, then you have to wait. And that's part of the constitution. So we don't have a constitution that would allow you to just break up and say you want to go. No. There is, if you want to, we already have it in real estate. We have about 2 real estate, not a problem. Then you have to wait for us to sell the property. And then, but even at that, why would you And I think even for one of us, somebody had to buy out that person. I said, okay, no problem, I will buy you out. So but I think what is key is you must have a strong constitution that will be binding on everybody, and you can't break that constitution.
You didn't speak about the lady that passed on.
Okay, the lady that passed on. So the same thing happened. So when we had done the accountant had done our books, and he said this is the percentage that is allotted to everybody, totaling 100%. So that one we now sold. Then then the shares wasn't, if I can remember, it wasn't a bad sale. So we sold some shares, and then we had one of us who took part of what that person was entitled to, gave the money to the investment club, and that was how we were able to pay the person, and so we passed it on to the family. We gave those funds to the family of the deceased.
Wow. So we're wrapping up now. So in total, you guys started with 10 people. So are you still 10 now? And so yeah.
So we're just having a side whatever. We were actually 12 when we started, right? One person, one person opted out when she left the company. Then the next person wanted to go out because she was relocating. So for each exit person, there was a calculation of what you're worth at the time, and then we paid off. So that's now. Then we lost one person, so that's 3. So now we're 9. Yes, we're 9 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're 9.
Okay. So what's your final word for us?
My final word will be just start, because sometimes you think that you came to the party too late, or you think if I'd known this 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, I would have done better, I could have, would have, should have, but when you hear the information, it's the next best time to start. So we're here today. We started 20 years ago. I'm sure when we were starting, there were people who had already done it, because I'm sure we're not the first to have started this. But I don't even know that when we started, we were thinking of 20 years ahead type of, it was just like a month-on-month, year-on-year, and 20 years already has gone by in a flash. So I would say start. Find the people that you can trust. Find the people who have like minds with you. Find the people that you are also looking to do good things with their lives, and come together, decide what you want, and start. Because before you know it, another 20 years, literally, it would go by in a flash. And you'll be thinking, if I had done this 20 years ago, where would we be now? So just start, figure out what you want to do, and go ahead and do what you need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, when you guys started, you were all in one company. People have left to different companies. People have relocated. So are you able to keep that relationship? Because some of them are online now. So do you people really see? You don't see. You just do online, or so?
Thank you, Dr. Olumide. We have a WhatsApp group, and that's how we stay connected. And we also had quarterly meetings. So whether you are abroad, or we look for the time that works for everyone, and we make sure then we connect with them online. I think the last meeting we had was at St. Pedro's house, yes. And then somebody is in Houston, somebody is in Geneva, they dial in. And then 2 people are in Abuja, and then the rest of us are in Lagos. So that's how we stay connected. Then events. So sometimes there are milestone birthdays, and we make the time. One of us turned 50 last year, and those who could make it, a couple of us were there in Houston to celebrate with her. So those are the things that we do to stay connected.
So that when you went to Houston, now
No, our bonio. Chairman no go agree. She know they agree spend money. So we giving, 1 year.
We can't just carry private jet and go and record.
She will tell you that the amount that we used to rent that private jet, there's something to do with it. That is her reasoning. She never really allows us to spend money.
Wow.
So we are happy she's with us. Yeah. Because some of us will just be spending the money anyhow, but she's now the red tape. Yeah, so those are the things that we do to stay connected. I think I just want to add to the question you asked, Edo. I was looking into my phone So because people, meet us in little buckets and ask questions. In my church, for example, I speak about this, my women's fellowship, I speak about this thing. So people come and meet you, okay, how do we start? We share the lessons. There's another group. So I've actually sort of spread myself into, I'm in other 3 investment clubs that are younger than this. I think the other one that was set up was in 2018, was what I was looking at. So I'm the oldest in that group. They're all younger than I am. But same thing, we're trying to model the framework of what, because like Edo said, starts, when people hear the story, they're like, okay, please join us so that you can guide us. So at some point, we had to say no. I had to say no to many, because when I join you, I'm also contributing. So I'm contributing in multiple places. So I'm spreading, and I know I'd reached my limits. So I think I've done, 2 others outside of the one that is the oldest. So others, I can be there, but I can guide you. So again, it's how you look for the right. If you think that will give comfort to the rest of the group, sometimes, okay, I can come in. Once the people have settled, I would exit and make sure that you guys are running. Just share the framework and you guys develop it as you want. So that's other things that we're doing to help other people who would like to grow in the community. People try to join us even after we had these exits, but honestly, we just said there's really no need. There's no need, because you have gone into a certain level before you even calculate how much that person will now invest when we actually evaluate all of our assets. Even if the person can afford it, there was just that something to say, no, I think, it's enough, but we're glad.
Just to add to what she said about people wanting to join, there was also a level of, what's the word now? There was a connection we had, that we had grown, that bringing someone in at that time would have broken it, or would have tampered it in a way that would have probably messed up what we were trying to achieve. Because we had grown, I think people started wanting to come in maybe like in the 3rd or 4th year, and we had been through a lot of, like the initial, okay, we're setting up, we're this, we're that, this is what we're going to do, this is not what we're going to do type of thing. And we had come to a point where we had all synced together. So yes, we had disagreements, but there was this sync, or there is this sync that we have. Sometimes our chairman just says, we're doing this. We'll now say, yes, ma. Because we trust her enough to know that she will do right by us. Yeah, she's a fantastic one. Oh yeah, she deserves all of that and more. We trust her enough. She would have scrutinized it. She would have checked everything, and then she'll come and say, guys, I think this is a good thing. So most of the time, we don't even check too much. Maybe 1 or 2 questions, and we'll say, go ahead, chairman. And we know that it will always bring something. And even if it does, we trust her enough to know that she was not reckless with the decision. Because that's another thing. Somebody goes in good faith to do something, and it doesn't turn out right, and then you're now blaming the person, oh, if you could have, should have, would have. But we have all leveraged on our strengths. We know that her strength is there. So we're giving it to her. And we keep teasing her, chairman for life. Yeah. So, yeah. Because when we started, truly, when we started, the Constitution said we will rotate, offices, secretary, and all of that. We just said, you know what, this is your calling. Without you. So yes, that's how we have been. So I just wanted to put that out there for if you're starting and all of that. Everybody, like success has many brothers, fathers, and sisters, right? So when you first of all want to start, there are going to be a lot of, do you think something, like doctor said, oh, women, can you people survive? Oh, this and that. And then when it was obvious that we are surviving, everybody now, or a lot of people now wanted to join. But at that time, you also need to decide what is working for you and what you want. Thank you.
Wow, amazing.
Just to say something, Doctor, to say something to what she had said. So we bought a property, and about, I think, 3-4 years, we couldn't rent out the property because there are just issues with the property and here and there. And then I think it was only last year that we're able to let out that property. It wasn't even so much, but like she said, there was no day we just felt that, oh, why did we go into this property? But eventually we know that that property is going to yield the desired expectation for us. But if you had not been if there had not been that consensus saying that, you know what, let us stay on this. Some people could have said, oh, it was a wrong decision. But hey, 4 years, there was no income. And we have already invested. But like we say, it's a journey. Wealth building is a journey. You have to be disciplined and you have to stay on the course.
Wow. Before we come to you, I just need to repeat this. In the School of Money University, there are 2 modules I created. One is how to run an investment club successfully. I put all the modules, everything, the constitution, what to look out for, how to register, everything is there. Then creating wealth creation networks. And the difference between a wealth creation network, so there are 2 modules in the School of Money University. So for those of you that got it or that will get it, you'll be able to learn all the constitution, everything you need. I put it in there in the university so that you'll be able to know how to do that. So now, finally, you guys have been talking about values. The value we share. I'm not trying, I'm a pastor. I'm not trying to say you have to be a Christian for something to work. But I would like it, what role does faith play in this? Because you guys are talking value. And sometimes we talk value, because we are Christians, we don't want to be quoting scripture. We are talking. So when you say value, because somebody comes in and the person is married, but she wants to do side chick. And she's part of it. She's married, but she wants to go and do tummy talk and do lipo and do bum. And they say, so when you say value, what are the few things that you guys hold together that are values that has kept you? And does faith have any part to play in this? Is there any one of you of a different faith? So, yes, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, we're all Christians, right? So I'm grateful for that. And definitely faith plays a critical role. I think I mentioned that we've gone through, so each of us have had our different challenges. And at the quarterly meetings, we do those, we're vulnerable. And in those vulnerable times, vulnerable to say this is what's going on. And the anchor we have is to pray. And we have different phases. We have the prayer warriors amongst us who say, oh yeah, prayer warrior, deal with this issue. So from a faith level, I'm actually very happy that we're very aligned. Even though maybe our denominations are different, but in terms of the faith and our beliefs, we're very aligned. And I think Edo said something and it just clicked in my brain. We're authentic. We're very real and true to ourselves. Maybe because we started young and we knew frailties. So there's no body carrying shoulder. You really know who each person is. So in terms of, she spoke about trustworthy. I want to believe that is the word that can be used for everyone. So there's integrity. That's one value I would say we kind of have. Integrity in the sense that even when you cannot meet an obligation, you're coming to say, I can't meet this obligation now, but this is what I'm going to do to ensure I make up for it. And that's fine and okay for us because you're upfront. In terms of how we see lives and our values, it's very similar. We believe in the same thing. So you can't have someone that's a side, I don't want to use that word, but it doesn't align. We're not, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. So we're not going to encourage that. So you're not going to say you're married, you're cheating. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think it's an unspoken thing. It's not judgmental. It's just an unspoken thing. And that doesn't mean that we're perfect. So I'm not saying, so even though you have aligned values, areas of development, areas that need feedback, we know the right person that can speak to this person. We do offline feedback, and we share testimonies. Testimonies of successes and the journey to that success. Testimonies of failures and the lessons learned from those failures. Testimonies of our children. I had a child who went through a waiting period. I shared it on the group, and that helped other people maybe who had children that were struggling in that area. That's how true we are. And so when Edo says, Morenike says, this is what we should do, you've shared your life with Morenike. You've seen Morenike's frailties. You trust, you know she has integrity. She's going to do. If I said, Bridget, hold this money, she's going to hold it. She's not going to spend it. So those are some of the values, that we have.
I mean, let's celebrate them. Before I come to Rotimi for the last word, I want to hear from you. Since you are there, I want you to speak to men for me. And I wanted to speak to them from the perspective of allowing their women to shine. Because see, Bridget, right, was talking about how the husband sowed the seed of the first 100,000. I'm a pastor, I pastor thousands of people, and I know a lot of women whose lights have been dimmed because of the men they married. I pastor a lot of women that could have been 10 times what they presently are, but they have an insecure husband that will not allow them to shine. You guys are doing this, and of course I know, you didn't want to mention the numbers, but I know you all are, you are big, you are rich people. God has blessed you all in the billion level, but you don't want to mention it because, you don't want to pay tax or, A new tax law has come now, so that someone will not send them after you. But now, let me speak to men, because your husbands have supported you. There are men that will say, you either choose this marriage, or you choose those your girls. No, we cannot be suffering here. And you're telling me you have one money with some girl, go and sell everything, or else this marriage choose, and they will scatter your life. So please, help us speak to men.
Okay, sir. Okay, one thing I would say, and I think we must appreciate all our husbands in the Gleaners. Please appreciate them. One thing that has worked for each and every one of us is that we've had supportive husbands. In fact, they jokingly tell us at times that we are not being fair on them, that we should also send them on holiday, use all the money. One thing I want to say is this, and my husband says this, and I think it says this, that he says in a home that God said, I will bless the home. He can now choose whom he would bless. But there is one thing he says, nobody can fight the headship. You as the man, you are the head of the house. There is no dispute about that. But God can choose to bless whomever in the house. And that is why he says that the two shall become one. So please, it might be that by virtue of association, by virtue of relationship, your wife might be exposed to opportunities. But by you saying that, no, because I'm the man, I don't want you to go ahead, invariably what you are doing is you are limiting the blessing of God upon your life. You know that times that we jokingly say, it's like, even if either of us, I know about husbands, if they say that either of us, we get a promotion, we get a house and we move to Ikoyi, our husband will still be the head. It doesn't matter who has the house or who has contributed most to that prime, to owning what you have. Because at the end of the day, and that's why to some extent, this tribe about the man is the head. There is no fight. Where a man is arguing that I'm the head of this family, there is a problem. There is a problem. Because being a man is not about money. There's so many things. Money is part of it. You take on your responsibility. But please give room to your wives to fly. Even the Bible says that whoever, he said your prayers will be answered when you make your wife happy. Give room to your wives to fly. There is somebody that I can't remember who I read that when you give a woman a sperm, she multiplies it. Anything you give to a woman, she multiplies it. That is how God has ordained women. Whatever you give to them, they multiply it. You give them, it comes to your children. So when you give them the responsibility of, I want you to, whatever you want to do financially, please support them, and you will see how it would multiply. And in the process of that as well, it might be about maybe work. And it's like, hey, you do work, you are not home, supporting doing your wifely duties. It's all about collaboration, because a time will come. The children will be out of the house. It's going to be left with two of you. And the question is, how did you play your role as a man all through that journey of growth? You know, a lot of times they say, the woman have gone to do Omugo or whatever like that. Because the man seems to see that I'm not part of, it's not just about the money, but about supporting the woman. So everybody will see that my father was there. He was very present when we were all growing up. So it's not about that, because you don't want your wife to maybe the work is so demanding, she cannot do some things at home. You say, because of that, come and sit down. Imagine, later in life. Because in life, work will stop. It is the two of you that will now be. And it is what you have planted over the years. It is what you have planted that will now become seeds that you would eat from. But if you have not planted, there is no seed to eat from. And like Dr. Olumide said, black tax. These generations of children that we have, they'll see black tax. Because even they are still trying to settle down themselves. Talk less of saying that they now want to take care of you as their parents. So please, men, allow women to fly. God has ordained us. He has blessed us. Just try us. Just say go, and we would multiply. At the end of the day, is to your glory. We jokingly say, we bear our husband's name. Everybody's son name here is our husband, not our middle name, but our husband's name. Let your name fly. Bear your woman. Praise the Lord.
Wow. So, Rotimi, let's wrap up with you. People need to know, like you said, there is no useless part of the palm tree. Every part of the palm tree is useful. And many times, which you've already spoken about, when people think of investment, they always think about risk. And it's supposed to be thought about, because there is no risk-free investment. Investment is R and R, risk and return. You just need to wait. So someone is thinking, so just finally, why should I be a part of this Madiba palm tree farm? We are working together. You are the management partner. So why should somebody invest into it? Just finally speak to someone, encourage them on why they should be a part of this. And you've spoken about it before, but somebody's thinking, is the risk? What's the risk and all those stuff? The money we are collecting includes insurance for the crop, but just talk to them finally.
Thank you, sir. Just two things: credibility and capacity. The agro-real estate model has come to stay. We might have pioneered it, but it's spreading so large now. And I remember telling my team and our team of consultants in 2024 that affliction will arise again. And it arises because Nigerians invest stupidly. They won't seek for the right knowledge. They will invest emotionally. And they will come back to fight you emotionally. They will invest because it's my brother. They will not invest because they have the knowledge of what they are putting their money into. And so the relationship between Madiba and Asset Rise is one of such, just like our beautiful women have spoken about today, collaboration. Putting our strengths together to achieve what should be done and what should be done right. Dr. Olumide has been in the real estate space for years. He could do this on his own without seeking us. But in his meekness and humility, he came to our office. I mean, that was one of the most humbling experiences I've had in my journey in real estate. He drove down to the office by himself. And I was shocked when I was told, Dr. Olumide is in the office. I said, are you sure? Snap and send his picture. Are you sure it's Dr. Olumide? But so humbling, because he wants to know, he wants to do it right. And that's why I know that Madiba will not fail. Because whenever you decide to do something right, you go after the knowledge, you go after the skills, you go after the expertise, you are going to do it successfully. And so for Madiba, the first thing is credibility. Number two, the capacity. We have done this. I have over 2 decades of experience in this. And for what we are doing in Asset Rise, over 7 years, 27th of December, we paid ROI to our Ibadan Palm Ridge. We're a partnership with Nigeria Society of Engineers and so many of the other bigger organizations. We got funding from the UK House of Lords, and we have been able to pitch what we are doing to get all this support. So in terms of capacity, we have demonstrated it over the years. And now we are marrying that with his credibility, with his experience in real estate, and I believe that is going to be a very fruitful marriage that you want to be part of. So be part of Madiba, and you can have your peace. Everything that needs to be done has been done, from insurance to getting the land right. I mean, despite doctors' conviction about what we are doing, they still went ahead to do all their search about the land with the ministry, with everything, to avoid troubles. And came back to challenge, Rotimi, this land, I'm seeing this thing on it too. Then we went back to the government, gave back all the claims, and the land is totally free from encumbrance, and you are getting a value that will be forever productive for you. Thank you so much.
Let's appreciate them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that the way to celebrate, celebrate, celebrate? Okay, so we want to wrap up now. Questions. So if you have any question you have written down, we're going to take about 40 minutes to answer questions. If you have any question for me or any question for them, either for Rotimi or for any of the amazing ladies from the investment club, the floor will be open. So we're going to do that for 40 minutes. So timer, give us 40 minutes to do that, and then we'll close for the day. So do you have any question? Okay, please write it down. But while we are waiting, microphone guys, can you just let somebody help us with microphone while we are waiting? But I'll prefer you to write it down so that we'll not spend too much time. So who has the mic? Yeah, so just, there's someone there. So maybe we'll get somebody else to have mic so that two of you will be doing it. But if you're written it down, you can pass it on. Ushers can go around. So please, just tell us your name and go straight to the point. Don't greet me, don't appreciate me, don't explain anything. Just go straight to the question so that we won't save time. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Okay, sorry, sir. My name is Samuel Barindi.
Okay.
And I'm a student. So the question I want to ask is, how do I put myself among a set of people that have the same value with me? That's my first question. And the second question is, in terms of investment, how do I break it down? You know, when I need money, how will I put, okay, this money I'm going to use it for spending, this money for investment? Because as for me, what affects me from investing is, I see investment as you put money to get cash to do something. Maybe there's something happen unknowingly. So how do I put it? Because they say they don't need to touch the money. What if something happen that I need big money, and really from there, will I suffer the loss and leave the money there? Thank you, sir.
Powerful, amazing. Now, how do you identify people of the same value with you? Number one, identify your own value. So you need to be able to have a physical and then mental, because it starts with conscious until they become unconscious. So there's what we call conscious competence or conscious knowledge. There's what we call unconscious competence or unconscious knowledge. So you have to sit down first and start from the conscious. What are my values that I want to live by? So you document it. I want to be honest and truthful. I want to be prompt and timely. I want to be respectful. I want to be loving and caring. So you list out your values. So once you have listed out the values you want to live by, and you start living by that value, it becomes easy to identify it in somebody else. So that's where it starts from. Identify your own value and live by it. And one thing about life is that it is magnetic. Whatever values you live by, with time, people of the same value, is law of attraction. We start gravitating towards you. You just realize that when you are talking to people, when you make statements or you say things, the people that have the same value with you will respond the same way. Some people will say things that you're like, is that what you think? You know that this kind of person, I can't relate with them. So that's the way it works. Identify yours and then begin to use that as a screening for those that you will be bringing into your inner circle. And please note, everybody is important. The Bible says God created us, even the wicked, for the day of destruction. So don't discard anybody. Everybody is important, but they don't have to be in your inner circle. So your values is what determines who will be your inner circle. But being a good and kind person, make sure that you relate with everybody, even if it's to be able to be a blessing to them. Number 2 is, how do you come to a point where you're able to now have money to invest? It begins with applying the laws of wealth. Savings is one of the laws of wealth. Delayed gratification is one of the laws of wealth. So continue to save. And how do you know what to save? Apply what we call the 30-70 principle. For every money that comes into your life, a minimum of 10% of that money must be saved. So if you start with just 10%, as you're bringing in your 5, you're also bringing in another 10%. In 1998, in this same church, when I understood wealth creation, I came to this church and I told them, from today, all of you go and open accounts. As you are bringing tithe, be saving 10%. Don't be bringing tithe without savings. Start saving 10% of your money. And we started with Ashaka Cement. Started buying shares just like they did in 1998. And we did that for 5,000 naira per month. So these are things we have practiced. So it's not that we're just coming here to tell you stories. And that's why we're bringing other people to show you how it works. I did that, and with 5,000 in 5 years, people were becoming millionaires. You do 5,000 every month, in 5 years, come and collect 1,070,000. And that's how we've helped people to become millionaires and billionaires. So it's as simple as that. Minimum of 10% must be saved. I should be looking at 20-30 actually. Try and do 30%. But if you cannot do, just say minimum of 10%. When you save 10% of your income every month, you will have enough money to maximize opportunity when they come. God bless you. Your name and straight to the question.
Okay, good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Ojo Isaac. I have 2 questions. First is, if I invest today in the Madiba, when is my 5 years waiting period going to start? Secondly, documentation. Do we get to have documentations for the procurement to show us what we have, and can be handed over to whoever we want to hand it over to in case of transgenerational issues? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, that will be the last question from any microphone. I have enough here. So, please, one of the reasons why we designed the brochures that we give to you is because they are already what we call frequently asked questions that we know that people will ask. We started this with a pre-launch for people within our network, and we had a lot of questions asked already that we have answered. So I will ask that you please, I will answer you, but take time to study the 2 brochures we've given to you. If you don't have those brochures, don't leave here without we have enough. Collect the brochure so that you can study it. Our phone numbers are there. The office lines are there. You can then call. If you still need more clarification, you can then send an email. So the reason why we said 5 years, your 5 years starts from when you pay. The particular breed of palm kernel nut we are planting is called the Tenera breed. And it actually begins to fruit around the end of the 3rd year into the 4th year. So from the 4th year, it should actually start fruiting. The reason why we did 5 years is because we know that we are launching in January 2026. And we know that the first 1 year, we may not be able to plant all that we need to plant, because for instance now, we bought the land in October. As at now, we have done the perimeter survey. We are now doing the clearing of the land. I think we are just at 11 hectares now out of 1,000. to clear the land alone is going to be like 5 to 6 months. Do you understand? And we cannot plant palm tree every time. You can only plant it ideally twice a year, April and later. So we are working towards April. So we trust that from the pre-launch and from what you people are going to buy between now and March, that's why we give people 90 days. So we want to plant in April. So for us, the 5 years started now. Do you understand? But when you get your letter, I'm giving you the behind the scene now. When you get your letter, your 5 years starts from the day you complete your payments. But it's part of our USP. We under-promise and over-deliver. So when we actually said 5 years, at the back of our mind, we are planning to shock people by giving them something at that point. So because if we're able to plant this year now, then we should be able to be ahead. So that's the way it works. Then documentation. Once you pay, you are going to get a receipt. The day you complete your payment, maximum of 30 days after you complete your payment, you're going to get a contract of sale that will itemize all the terms and conditions. The terms and condition on the application form is the same term and condition that will be on your contract of sale. Because by experience, before you pay, you will sign. So that by the time I give you the contract of sale, you will not say you are not aware. So it's already there. You have already signed it, but we are just bringing it as a legal document to now say this is the contract of sale. You have finished your payment. Once you get that document, then you wait until it's time to do allocation. For the allocation, we don't know when it will be. Because like I told you, we'll clear the land, we'll do the nursery, and allocating land in farm is not like you are buying land in an estate. It's a farm. So once the allocation time is ready, we will now invite you for allocation. But if you read the brochure, the farm is there. We already have people employed. You can go there and check. We have the document. You can go and check in Ogun State. We have the survey. We have all the document. You can be visiting the farm every month or every quarter to go and see by yourself what's happening. Do you understand that? God bless you. Okay, so let's run through this. I told you to please make it legible. I'm saying Chinese language here. Okay, I am Diaolu Daniel by name, a student of OAU studying accountancy. How can I get involved in the palm tree offer as a student who doesn't have much savings now and then? I work with corporate on cover. How can I use my experience to do a personal business? Okay, so now you are a student. You see, now what you have is information. So you now know that there is an opportunity for palm tree. So the next thing you can now do is to use your association to profit from the information. So now you know there is a palm tree. So even if you cannot buy, you can now register as a realtor. Join the realtor for free. We'll now train you. You now call your father, your mother, your uncle, your cousin, your landlord, your neighbor, your auntie, and everybody knows your uncle. Then you give them the brochure, and then you begin to see if you can. So if you can sell to them, you will get 10% commission. From your own commission, that means if you sell 10 acres now, you get 1 free 1 acre. So that's how it's. So as a student, that's what you can do. Number 2, to Mr. Rotimi, who are the insurance company or companies managing the insurance of Madiba Palm Tree Farm? Okay, so now, Madiba Palm Tree Farm is not what you are insuring. It is the palm tree we are insuring. No. We are not insuring your land. It's the palm tree we are insuring. And the palm tree does not exist yet. Do you understand? So we are collecting money for you for insurance. We are insuring the palm tree, not insuring the land. Because land is not going anywhere. So he's just going to answer you. So keep it with the insurance that has been insuring what is already existing. So, sorry, hold on to that. Good afternoon, sir. My question is, what is the minimum amount to lock down 1 acre? Now, please listen. 1 acre is 6 million if you are paying within 90 days. Paying within 90 days means you have to pay between now and March. That 6 million must be completely paid within now and March. For that one, any amount you have, just lock it down. Fill the form and do what? And lock it down. So even if it's 100,000, you submit the form with 100,000. Your slot will be reserved. By the end of 90 days, Your slot is cancelled if you don't pay. You enter the 8 million level. But if you are doing the long term, which is 8 million per acre, you have to pay 20%. Because now we have to wait for 1 year. 6 months wait for it. So when we get your 20% minimum, it can give us enough to now do your nursery and go ahead and plant, even though we know your money is coming. Do you understand? So if you are doing the 90 days, minimum is any amount you have. But if you are doing the 6 months, 20% is the minimum. To start an investment in stocks, how do I start with little or no experience? Is there any book to read? There are a lot of trainings online, there are a lot of things, but I will advise you to get the books that we have introduced to you today. You can get the School of Money. It covers almost everything. And those basic knowledge will help you to then know how to proceed. As we are seated here, can we have 5 other persons to key into the £6 million investment? Okay. So this person is trying to raise partners from here. You guys have to locate yourself by yourself so that you will not say it's Olumide Emmanuel. Did you open an account for the group or one of your accounts? So this question is for the investment club. So they want to know if you open an account so that you'll be keeping it. If you have an account that the group is using or it's somebody's account you are using, so I'll come back to you. Please, can the ladies give us access to their constitution? So they will let us know. I came from an agrarian settlement in Ondo State where we are majorly into palm oil production. I reside in Ibadan and I bring the palm oil down from my village, but I'm here to meet up with the market demand due to insufficient capital to buy more from my people in the village. I'm even right now in the room with my products, well branded or Basi oil. So how can you be of help? So this person is even testifying now that they came from Ondo, they have plenty of oil, but now they can't meet up with the market demand. Because people are asking for it, but they don't even have money to buy more. So how can I help you? I'm already into palm oil. So I will have said maybe I want to invest, but thank you so much, sir, for your time today. How were you able to transit from relationship that could not impact you financially to having strategic relations that have great economic impact to your life? Now, you see, one thing you need to understand is that relationships are dynamic and fluid. So just like we had with the ladies, they were all staff of a company, they were not managers or people, but over time they have grown. So don't go into a relationship because of what you are going to benefit. Let value and purpose be what connects you to people. And with time, you understand, most of those relationships, we just celebrated 30 years of this church. I've been pastoring this church for 30 years. But 30 years ago, when I was to start, myself, Samadeyemi, Polade Frasi, many of us, we were all just starting. Nobody knew. We did not know that 30 years would be like this. We didn't know. We were all just starting, that God called us, let's just start. But we've been on together for 30 years. Do you understand now? Doing ministry, going through all kinds. But there are people we started with the same 30 years ago that are no more in ministry now. So it's not about what you are going to gain. There was even nothing to gain from each other. We're all struggling. It was only maybe Paul that was still, he's from a privileged family, came from America, but we are local. Hello, but so don't think of, just be good, have relationship, and if everybody grows together with time, then you can have the quality people coming from there. Because many times you are thinking, and I had that issue when I was a young pastor. I used to pray in those days, oh Lord, bring millionaires to my church, bring billionaires. I'll be praying that prayer and I have poor people around me. Because I thought that, so one day the Holy Spirit said, what kind of prayer are you praying? I should bring them. Okay, so somebody will raise them and lose them and they will now come to you. He said, the billionaires are in front of you here. The billionaires are there. Help them to become millionaires. I said, okay, so I focus. And today now, so me too, I have members now that people are praying to say, oh Lord, I want that kind of member. But they can't go anywhere because this is where they were made. You understand? So Can you please shed light on the seaports being built in Ogun State and what it means for real estate sector? You know, technology and infrastructure eliminates villages. So you don't need any revelation. Anytime there is a development in any aspect, everything in that area will blossom. So just plug in. After buying land for palm, investment, who is going to be the owner of the land? Can we decide to sell the land later? All these questions are answered in the brochure. You are the owner of the land forever. It's your land. We are not the owner of the land. You are going to get a survey for your land. You're going to get a deed of assignment for your land. It's all part of what you are paying for. So you own the land 100% outrightly forever in your lineage. And the land will continue to appreciate. But the palm oil we are planting on it, you are the owner of the land. We are now bringing in our expertise to help you plant on your land, sell the palm oil and make money. That is what we are sharing. You are the owner of the land. Now, the contract you are signing is that nobody will cut down the palm tree for the next 40 years. So before that palm tree can be cut down, it's 40 years. And you know that in 40 years time, me, I'm already 100 years or whatever. So I'm not going to be there to be discussing. So it is the contract now that you will be fighting yourself. If you want to, I want to cut, you cannot cut. You cannot cut. It's not 40 yet. Baba Olumide Emmanuel wants to pay. So you'll be talking. So it's 40 years. So you cannot cut down the tree. And when that 40 years time comes, depending on what the world will be like in those days, all of you that are in the group, you have to now form a quorum, which is 70%. 70% of everybody in that farm must agree that it should be cut down. Why? Because we are going to be spending an average of about 2.5 billion building the factories and the mills. So the security of investing 2.5 billion to build a world-class mill is that you have supply for 40 years. Do you understand? So that's this. So if you now cut the tree, the factory will be useless in the bush now, because there will be no raw material for the factory. So that's why you cannot cut. So that's the business model. Can you sell? Of course, it's your own. You can sell it anytime. So if you do it now, and in 5 years' time you say you want to sell at 100 million, it's your land, it's your palm farm. But you are going to sell to whoever you want to sell with the same terms and conditions that we give to you. Then you will now pay us 10% of that money. Any amount you are selling, we are going to collect 10% to now do the transfer. Because we now have to do documents for the person, we have to now open file for the person, so you will now pay 10%. So if you sell at 100 million, you give us 10 million out of that 100 for us to help you do the, so that's the way it works. How do I get investors for my educational technology project? I've taken the first and primary step, like business registration, trademarking, and business plan. Getting investors is my challenge. How do I go about it? Start with your immediate network. Sometimes we are looking for people that are very far off. Start from your immediate network, because sometimes the investment that you are looking for is already around you. And I always say this, for many of us, we have learned in a hard way. Sometimes when you don't have money, it's a blessing. I'm telling you, because many of you, when you have money, you will have wasted the money before you now realize that, I should have done this, I should have done that way. So now that you don't have the money, start with the investment yourself, start with the business, start with the idea. Because every big vision have a small version. So start with a version you can undo now and let it grow organically. Than to go and collect money from investor, because that investor thing, the investor can bring money now and say they want to collect 60%. And you will sell your destiny only to realize later that you should not have done that. What is the average turnover if someone gets 1 acre of palm tree investment for 1 year? There is no 1 year. We are not doing investment here. So it's not palm tree investment, it's a farm. So there is no return on investment. If you want to do palm tree for 1 year, palm tree, does it grow in 1 year? So you don't start 1 year. It's not 1 year we're talking here. This is not for, people that want to do Subo, Sibex. MMM, no, that's not what we are doing here. Hello? So it's not an investment, it's a farm. You are buying a land and we are farming on the land. So it's not an investment that you now say you want to be collecting money every year. No. Once you put money in the land, we plant on it, it will take 5 years for it to start producing annual income for life. So, okay, so let me answer the one you are talking now. We have answered you. It's just that people have not read the brochure. Now, that 5 years time, let me help you now. You are now saying, what is now the return? Because you see, people like, what percentage will I be getting? There is no percentage. It's not an investment. Because, you know, he said something earlier on that you will get later, that affliction will arise again. You know, he said that. What he's trying to say is, you see the problem you are seeing in real estate now, where they are saying that people have sold land without allocation, people are buying receipts. It will happen in farm. That's why I told you that our farm is the most expensive, because we know what we are doing. You see, most of the people you are buying farm from, in that 5 years time, when the palm tree is now ready, that's when they will realize that there is nowhere to process it. Because they are not thinking of the mill now. They are just collecting money, buying Jeep, and going to Canada with your money. So in that 5 years time, affliction will now arise. They will now call all of you into a meeting and say, we have the pantry now, nowhere to sell. We need to mill it. We want to build a mill. They will now be charging you fresh money at that time. So be careful. So what we are saying is this. 1 acre will give you 60 palm tree. 1 hectare will give you 150 palm tree. It's 10 palm tree per plot. And the plot is 500 square meter times 6. So for 1 acre, you have 3,000 square meter. For 1 hectare, you have 7,500 square meters. But now listen. 1 palm tree, will give you an average of 25 liters of palm oil. 25 liters per tree. So 25 liters times 60 is what will come out of 1 acre. 25 liters times 150 is what will come out of 1 liter. Now, if we use the present market as a 2025, that's 2025 we just passed. So that means if you have 1 acre and you have 25 liters times 60, you are going to be getting like 3 million for 1 acre, like 6.5 million for 1 hectare using 2025. But we are not there yet. We don't know how much it will be in 2029. Do you understand? So, but at that point, that's what will come out. So, whatever the price will be at that point, that is the mathematics we are going to all deal with. So that's why we are now saying to you, because some of you now, some people now say, what do you mean by 40%? So what we are trying to say is, if we look at what you are bringing now, you are bringing 6 million, and the 6 million, if we follow now, if the palm tree was available now, you're going to be getting like 2 million, 2.5. What we are now saying is that from your present investment in this business, you are going to be getting an average of about 40% return. It doesn't mean we are giving you 40%. We're just giving you an idea of how it works. So by that time, we don't know whether palm oil will be up or down. So whatever it is, 25 liter times 60, 25 liter times 150. Do you understand? And guess what? Once you join by next year now, so this year now, there will be quarterly report. Next year, there will be annual report. Then in 2029, we're not going to start annual general meeting. There's no meeting now because there's nothing to meet about. We'll be giving you a report. But we have a back end, a dashboard, where everybody will be there. So everything will be open. There's a real life dashboard. So whether you are in London, you are in America, you are in Canada, you will see everything there. How much was done, everything. Audited accounts, everything. So fear not. Madiba Pantry, how many years of investment? When will the benefit or profit start coming in? Like how much will be paid? Answered. I'm not clear with the 100K initial deposits and 100K yearly deposits. Before registering the club, how did you keep the money without an accountant? What they said, so that we not waste time, is that they were doing 13,000, but they started with 100,000 bulk initially, and then 13,000 that increased to 15 to 20. But what they do is every year they do 1 bulk, and then the remaining month they continue. So For starter, who want to start an investment club, how do you identify the investment you need to go into? Also, when you started the club, did any one of you have the knowledge of investment that guided you? No, they have answered all this. What strategy or method do you use to finish a book in 1 week? How do I get a trusted stockbroker that can assist in investment? Finish a book in 1 week. Okay, I think Wisdom was talking about ChatGPT and AI. So, and that's what he was mentioning. How do I get a trusted stockbroker that I can invest? Is Kenny in the house? Keneje, please come. So let me introduce you to my stockbroker. So I have two stockbrokers. This is one of them. And she just happened to be my last born, our last sister, my sister. So this is my biological sister. So she's my stockbroker. I have two of them, and she's been managing my portfolio. So anything stock, the way you trust me, trust her 100%. So she's a stockbroker. And one of the things they do in their company is that they help you. So if your father have died 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or anything, if you want to know whether your father has money in the stock market, so that's what it does, their USP. They help people to dig out all expired and dead stocks as far back as when stock market started in Nigeria. Yeah. So that's what they do. So they've done that for people up to Dangote. So they're not small people. Don't look down. Our big babes, you know. So go and tell them to put it on the screen. Guys, put her phone number on the screen. So she's Kenny. So if you want to know, just tell her, help me check this family name. So they can go and check whether your father bought a Coca-Cola in 1975 that they forgot, or all those things. So they check all dead dividends. So if you see any dividend in your house that you don't understand, just gather and give it to them. They'll go and search it for you and bring it out. So that's one of them. The second one is also one of my sons, a pastor. So those are the two stockbrokers I use, and they have been doing amazingly well. For someone that have interest in pantry investment, but did not have such amount for the investment, what can such person do? Collaborate. That's what we're talking about. If you don't have the money, you should have friends, so that you put the money together, or you join the investment, the Realtor group for free, and you make money. My name is Timothy. Gathering 5 to 10 people to do 10 to 20K per month to generate 100K monthly. The question is, at that point, what are the examples of investments or one can venture into? And when buying shares, for example, do we register the organization to create a joint account, or one person can create the account that we use for the investment? Well, I'll give it to them again to add to their own. Then how can I meet you for financial counseling? How much will it cost me, sir? Just the play. Okay, we are good. Where is microphone for? Let's wrap up. We are closing now. Yeah, so Rotimi. And let's finish with Rotimi. We'll come to you. Yeah.
So the insurance company, currently we use mutual benefit insurance.
Please listen, yeah?
Currently we use mutual benefit insurance, and we also have a relationship coming up with the Nigeria Agricultural Insurance Corporation. Theirs is cheaper and more structured. So with that too, Madiba is also going to be doing insurance with the Nigeria Agricultural Insurance Corporation. And lastly, Doctor also was mentioning about the affliction. Please, to your families and to your friends, a lot of persons are going to lose money investing in agriculture. A lot of persons. Because they are not going to do it right. A lot of persons are already using agro real estate investment as a cash flow, and the bubble will burst. So please, follow Who Know Road. Follow Madiba, because the structure is spelled out, not people that will collect your money. I mean, you can sell 3,000 hectares, but farming 3,000 hectares is not beans. Thank you.
So, Monica, so let's wrap up with you. Yeah.
Quick one. Timothy, you are asking if you generate 100K monthly, the question is, at what point, what are the examples of investment you can venture into? Doctor have already given us the different classes of. One thing that is critical is that you must have knowledge. You must know what you are venturing into. You don't go into any investment blindly. So knowledge is critical. You must know what you are going into. If you want to venture into shares, know the company you are buying into, because it's like you are owning that company. What is that company into? What is their profit over? What has been their dividend policies? So those are the things. So you have to be educated yourself, and that's one of the things they have taught us. Knowledge is key, and then follow who know road. Doctor have introduced us to a stockbroker. Please engage professionals. So you must have the knowledge yourself, but you must also engage people who know, so that they can add to what you know, and then you can make very good investment decisions. So that is very key. It's not the amount is important, but what is more important is the knowledge and knowing what to go into. So there is shares, there is real estate, but it's still dependent on the capital you have to grow into it. Doctor have said it in so many of his messages. If you do not have the initial to go into real estate, you can go into shares, you build monies from there, and then you can divert it into real estate. And then you said, for example, do we register the organization or create a joint account, or one person create the account? Please, it's better, you must have an account. It's very key, because all the investments we have done as an investment club, it's in our investment name. It doesn't belong to one person. It's an investment club. So yes, you must open an account. So you can open a current, a savings, or an investment account. It's very key. If you are going to deal in shares as well, you must open that shares account in the company's name. So please, you must register the investment club. Can you have access to our constitution? Yes, you can have, but there is no email address. So even if we want to share, we cannot share it. So I don't know, maybe that will be organized.
Okay, send it to me.
Okay,
and then
we'll send it, Doctor. We'll send the framework that you can work.
Yeah, we'll put it on the platform. We'll work it out.
Okay, sir.
Just so send it to me. Since all of you have registered, we'll probably send a link to access it. So, yeah.
Did you open an account for the group, or one of your accounts? I've said that we opened an account and we still have the account running. Lastly, before registering the club, how did you keep the money without an account? So for the first 6 months, we kept it with one of us that we had mentioned. Her name is Chichi. We kept it in an account. When the account was duly registered by one of us, the husbands of one of us, when it was duly registered, we now transferred the money we had been contributing over the months into that account. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to especially say thank you to every one of you for spending time this long. If you paid, maybe we'll have given refreshments. But I just thought that so my brain, the way my brain works. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all. If you can make it to the Entrepreneurship Academy, take down 1 week off to come equip yourself. It will do a lot in your life. The books and all the materials are available. We're going to close right now. And please note, I'm going to be taking like 5 minutes to try to, see my guest off. And 5 minutes after, I'm going to be back. There'll be a chair on the altar, and I'm going to be autographing books. So please, if you want me to autograph, you have to be on the queue, and then I'm going to autograph the books for everyone. I'm going to be here for 1 hour to do that. So after 1 hour, I'm leaving this place. So I'm going to autograph the books, and please, when you are coming for the autograph, if you want to take picture, that's the time to take the picture. I will not autograph, then you start calling for picture. No. So as I'm autographing, you stand by my side. They will take the picture at the same time so that we can manage the time, because I also need to rest. Yeah. So God bless you all. Thank you very much. I'll see you. Go and prosper.